Hello everyone, welcome to HBN Infotech Tutorials. In this tutorial, I will show you the easiest technique to create stunning 2D floor plans in Freecad in just a few minutes. I will show you how to create this 45 foot by 25 foot floor plan in a few easy steps. Freecad is a powerful and versatile software with both 3D and 2D capabilities, and today we will unlock its hidden potential. Before we begin, I recommend downloading and installing the latest version of Freecad, which is version 1.0. Please note that the techniques I show you will work in most versions of Freecad. After launching Freecad, create a new file. To do that, you can click on this new icon or go to the file menu and click on new. Next, set the units of measure to foot and inches. To do that, go to the edit menu and click on preferences. In the general tab, look for default unit system. There is a drop down, click on that and select building US foot, inch, square foot, cubic foot and click on apply and click on OK. You can set the units of measure from the status bar as well. You will need to click on this arrow and select a units of measure from here. Next, switch to Sketcher Workbench by clicking on this drop down. I prefer Sketcher Workbench for this purpose because after some research I found that Sketcher Workbench is best suited for drawing 2D floor plans easily compared to other workbenches. Once you have created the 2D floor plan in Sketcher Workbench, you can transfer it to BIM Workbench and convert it into 3D easily. I'll show you this in my upcoming tutorials. Now let us start the floor plan drawing process. To do that, first click on Create Sketch icon. Then select XY plane and click on OK. Next, let us create a rectangle for the overall dimension. To do that, click on the rectangle tool, then click a point anywhere on the screen and type 45 feet for the horizontal dimension. Press the enter key and then type 25 feet for the vertical dimension and press the enter key. Now to center this rectangle to the XY plane, click on Constraint Symmetric icon, then click on the left top corner of the rectangle and then zoom out and click on the right bottom corner of the rectangle and then zoom in and click on the center point of the XY plane. So this will center the rectangle to the XY plane. Next, let us offset this rectangle for 9 inches, which is the outer wall thickness of this floor plan. To do that, first press the escape key to deactivate the constraint symmetric tool so that you get this arrow. When no tool is selected, you get this plain arrow, and with this plain arrow you draw a rectangular selection box around this rectangle to select it. Then click on the offset tool and then select intersection from this drop down so that you get sharp corners and then type 9 inches and press the enter key. Now you can see that the rectangle is offsetted outside. In case if you want to offset it inside, you will need to provide a negative value. So let us undo this and do it again. I'll select the rectangle, offset and then intersection and then minus 9 inches, enter. So now you can see that the rectangle is offsetted inside of this rectangle. Next is the very important step. I would recommend you to remove all the constraints from this drawing. There are two reasons for this. Reason number one is this, that constraints are restrictive while creating 2D drawings, especially the civil drawings, and especially when you are prototyping. Constraints are not very important with the civil drawings. In case of the engineering drawings, it is important and useful, but in case of the civil drawings, it's not very important, and especially when you are prototyping, constraints are not very important. So let us remove all the constraints. To do that, select all the rectangles here and then go to the sketch menu and then go to sketcher tools and click on delete all constraints. So this will pop up a dialog box. You have to click yes here, and this will remove all the constraints. Now the next steps are very easy. You can simply just make copies of these lines horizontally and vertically, and then later trim it with the trim tool. So now you will need to offset this line, or I mean the boundary lines, horizontally and vertically at the specified distances. For offsetting, in Freecad you cannot use this offset to create one single copy. So if you select this line and then click on the offset, it doesn't create a single copy. So we are not going to use the offset tool for this purpose. To create single parallel copy, you can use this move array transform tool. So select the line and then use this tool. Now let us create the parking area. It is for 15 feet by 15 feet. So you will need to offset the outermost rectangle, I mean the lines of the outermost rectangle. Let us click this line first. Click on move array transform tool, and then for the copies you can type 1 because we want one copy, and then make a click just near the line somewhere here, and then enter the distance. The distance is 15 feet and press the enter key. Next you will need to enter the angle. The angle in this case is 0 degree, and press the enter key. So this will easily copy or offset like you do it in AutoCAD and other softwares. So there you will use the offset command, but here you can't use the offset command. Instead you can use the move array transform tool. So now let us offset this line. Number of copies is 1, and I'll make a click somewhere here, and the distance is 15 feet. And now this time the angle cannot be 0, it should be 90 degrees. Sorry, minus 90 degrees. Number of copies is 1, 15 feet, enter, minus 90 degree. So while you are copying it horizontally, you can enter 0 or 180 degree, and if in case you are copying the lines vertically, then you can enter 90 or minus 90 degree for the angle. That's it. So you can easily offset this in no time. So now let me offset this line again for 9 inch, that is the wall thickness. I'll select this, click on move array transform, number of copies is 1, and then click here somewhere, measurement is 9 inches, enter, and the angle is 0 degree, enter. Now again this line for 9 inches, number of copies is 1, click this side. See, clicking this side, that side doesn't matter really. You have to enter the measurement and the angle. So the measurement is 9 inches, enter, and then the angle is minus 90 degree, enter. Now here let us create the kitchen so that automatically we will get the hall. So I'll offset this line for 15 feet. Now let us select this line and then click on move array transform, number of copies is 1, and then make a click somewhere and then enter the distance, that is 15 feet, enter, and now you can type 180 degrees, enter. Now the inner wall thickness is 4.5 inches. So I'll just select this one, this line, and then click on move array transform once again, number of copies is 1, click somewhere here, and then measurement is 4.5 inches, press enter, and then it is 180 degree. Okay, now let us create the bedroom, and this is for 15 feet by 15 feet. But before that, I think we have to clear some of these lines. It's getting little messy, so let us use the trim command and trim the portions. So let us click on trim edge tool and then click on the unwanted lines. So trimming inside the Sketcher workbench is very easy. So you can also press the escape key and click this line and press the delete key. See, sometimes you might have to zoom out, and then while working with the minute parts you might have to zoom out. Now I think I will have to trim here as well. Okay, and here. Okay, and now here also. Okay, now let us trim this as well. Let us trim this. See, in some cases if the trimming is not working, what you can do is you can press the escape key, delete the line and create a line. So if you are creating new objects, again I recommend you to remove the constraints. Select all objects, sketch, sketcher tools, delete all constraints, S, and now let us offset this line for 15 feet to complete the bedroom. Number of copies is 1. Click somewhere here, 15 feet, enter, and then 90 degrees, enter. Now again offset this line for 4.5 inches, That's the thickness of internal wall. Number of copies is 1. Click 4.5 inches, enter, 90 degree, enter. Now let us trim. Next, let us create the walls for the bathroom. I think I trimmed this line without noticing in my previous steps, so let me extend it using the extend edge tool. I'll click this line and click on this line. See, if something goes wrong, you can undo. See, this is happening because of the constraints. Now let us offset this. I'll press escape to deactivate and then click on this line and select it. Then click on move array transform. The number of copies is 1. And I'll click somewhere here, type 4.5 inches, which is the wall thickness, I mean internal wall thickness. Press enter and then 180 degree, press enter. Now you can trim the unwanted line segments. I can trim this off. So I think in this case, I think I should delete this line and create a line again. When you're creating a line, make sure that the snap is on, snap to objects is on. So I'll create a line from this point to that point, again this point and this point. Now let us remove the constraints once again. Select all objects, go to sketch, sketcher tools, delete all constraints, yes. So now we have created all the walls. Now let us create the doorways. So now here, if you have a look, the width of the main door is 3 feet 6 inches and all the other doors are for 3 feet. So I'll select this line and then offset this for 3 feet 6 inches using the move array transform tool. Number of copies is 1. Click, type 3 feet 6 inches, enter, then minus 90 degree, enter again. Now let us extend this line. Again extend this line, and now let us trim this. Okay, now here again we need a door for 3 feet wide. So escape, select, and then number of copies is 1. Click 3 feet, enter, minus 90, enter. Now again we will need to extend this, extend and trim. Now I think we need a door over here and here. So again escape, select, move array transform, number of copies is 1. Click 3 feet, enter, minus 90 degree, enter. Then there is no need to extend it. Let us trim this. Trim, trim, trim. Okay. Now again escape and select this line and offset. Move array transform, number of copies 1, click, and this time it is 3 feet, enter, 90 degree, enter, select this, extend, and trim. Okay, yeah, I think this line needs to be one line. Here there is a opening. Let us delete this, delete one of these lines and extend this, extend the other one. Okay, now we are almost done. Now before we proceed further, let us delete the constraints once again. So select all the objects, go to the sketch, sketcher tools, delete all constraints, click S. Now the next thing is to create the doors and windows. Before that, let us do certain things like hiding these dots here. We can call this as vertex points. So if you want to hide this, you have to come out of the sketch editing mode. So to come out of the sketch editing mode, you can simply click on the close button. So to see all the drawing, you can just click on this fit all. This will zoom to extents. Now you can also change the view to the top view. Now to hide these dots, you can click on this sketch and then you can just scroll down and look for point size. Type 1 for the point size, so that will hide the points or the vertex points. So now you can see that there is only one item here, that is called a sketch. So if you want to edit the sketch, you can double click and go inside the editing mode, do the editing and come back. Now for example, here I think it needs to be one straight line. I will delete this, extend this line, and now I think I'll have to remove the constraint. Now let us click on close and come out of the editing mode. So here we have one object called the sketch here. So what you can do is you can rename this sketch. So right click and click on rename it as walls. So I prefer creating separate sketches for doors and windows. So let us create one more sketch, and before you do that, you make sure that you are in the sketcher workbench. If you are not in the sketcher workbench, just switch to sketcher workbench and then click on create sketch. So then select XY plane, click on OK. Now let us create the door symbol for 3 feet 6 inches, which is the main door, and the door frame size is 3 inches as you can see here, and the width of the door is 1.5 inches. So now let us take the line tool and start creating. So I'll click a point somewhere here, move the mouse. To get the straight lines, hold down the control and move the mouse. Now enter the measurement as 3 inches. press the enter key. The angle is 0. Enter. Now let us zoom. Now I'll continue from this point. Move the mouse upwards. Hold down the control key. 3 inches. Enter. 90 degree. Enter. And now I'll continue from this point. This measurement is I suppose it is half of the door frame, so it is 1.5 inches. Enter. 0 degree. Enter. Again we'll continue from this point downwards. Hold down the control key. 1.5 inches. Enter. And minus 90 degree. Enter. And click from this point, and you can or you can also copy this line here. So before that you will have to delete the constraints. I'll press the escape key, select all, go to sketch, sketcher tools, delete all constraints. Yes. Now you can just simply copy this. You can take this or copy, and you can just say 1, and then click a point from here and click here and select this one. Again, more copy, number of copies is 1, and click this as the reference point, and this is the displacement point. So we have created the door frame. Now let us zoom, and now we will have to mirror this. So to mirror this, what you can do is you can create a reference line here, a vertical line, then press escape, select all of these objects, and then click on symmetry and click on this reference line. So this will create a mirrored copy. Now what you can do is you can delete this reference line, and then create a line for 3 feet 6 inches. Angle is 0, and now you can move this on this line. Press the escape key, select, move, click this reference point, and that as the displacement point. Like this. Now you can delete this line, and now what you can do is you can just offset this one, the bottom line here, for 3 feet 6 inches. Let us zoom and select this line, and then click on move array, transform, and then the number of copies is 1. See, if you are simply moving, you don't have to write 1 here. In case if you want copies, then you can write the number of copies here. So I'll make a click, and this time it is 3 feet 6 inches. Enter, and the angle is 90 degree. Now let us extend this line. And then extend this line as well. and then let us trim this. You can use the extend tool as well to trim the line. Now you will need to create an arc. So click here and take the first tool, create arc by center. Now I'll pick this as the center, and then I'll take the second point here and the third point here. So our door is ready. Now we will need to delete the constraints. Press escape, select all, go to sketch, sketcher tools, and then delete all constraints. Yes. Now click on close and come out of the editing mode. Now you can rename this sketch as main door. Now you can move this door, rotate it and place it here. To do that, you can switch to the draft workbench and then click and select the door, rotate it. You can just click a reference point here on the door somewhere. You will need some snap points like endpoints and the ortho. So I'll just click a point somewhere here and then click a point here. Then move this, take the reference point and move and place it here. So this is possible with the object snaps. Okay, now the next thing what you're gonna do is you will also have to hide the dots for this. So you can just click on this, scroll down, and for the point size type 1. So dots will be hidden. This is not placed properly. I'll move it again. Now you will have to make multiple copies of this door. I'll just select this main door, go to edit, click on duplicate selection. Now you can move this copy. Let us move this here, and let us also rename this door. Let us say we are making the door for the kitchen. So right click and rename. Now you will also need to change the size because this is for 3 feet. I mean all the other doors are for 3 feet. So let us double click and change the size. Now you will need to create a reference line for 3 feet. 3 feet, enter, angle is 0. So press escape, delete the arc. Now select this set of objects and then move it and snap it to this endpoint, and then you can also move this one and snap it here. Now you can offset this line for 3 feet, make one copy. So when you don't need copy, you can let it remain 0. Now you can click here and enter the number of enter the distance, the measurement, that is 3 feet, angle is 90 degree. Now you can trim this Now you can delete this. Now before proceeding, let us remove the constraints. I'll select all, go to sketch, sketcher tools, delete all constraints, yes. And now we can also delete this reference line. Now let us create the arc. Take the first tool, start point, second point, and the third point. So you can press escape and you can click on the close or press the escape key once again to quit the editing mode and come out of the sketch editing mode. Now we can move this here. Take the move tool. Now you can duplicate this again and create the door for the bedroom. So right click, select this and then go to edit and then duplicate selection. Now you can rename this as bedroom. Now you can move this and place it here. Now let us duplicate this again, and this is for the bathroom. So edit, duplicate selection, rename this as bathroom. Now I think you will need to move and mirror this. So let us first move this. Okay, so you can I think I moved the wrong one, so I'll just hide this for a moment, hide the bedrooms. So I'll bring the bathrooms door here and then unhide the bedrooms door again. So now you can mirror this. There is a mirror tool over here, but I don't recommend using this tool as it creates certain complications. So what you can do is you can just go into the sketch editing mode by double clicking and mirror this door from here itself. Say you will need to create a reference line of any length and then press escape, select both and then click on this symmetry and click on this reference line. So you can delete these two and come out of the editing mode. Now you can move this door here. So you can also observe that when you're in the editing mode, these lines are independently editable. When you're out of the editing mode, this behaves as one sketch, I mean a kind of one group of objects, so that it is easily movable as one single element. At this stage, I would recommend you to create a layer and move all these doors onto that layer. To create a layer, you can go to utilities and then click on layer. Now you can just click on this arrow. You can see the layer here. You can rename this by double clicking and you can name this as door. Now you can select all these doors and move onto that layer. I can see that it's grouped under this layer. Next, let us create the window symbols. To do that, switch to the Sketcher workbench again and then click on Create Sketch, select XY plane and click on OK. And now this is a bit easy. You will need a rectangle first. So I am creating a window for 4 feet by 9 inches. So you can create the window as per your requirement. So 4 feet, enter, and the thickness is 9 inches. So I'll zoom this. Now you can offset this line for 3.5 inches on both sides. So let us select, press escape, select this line, move array transform, number of copies is 1, pick, and then the distance is 3.5 inches, and then minus 90 degree. Again this one, we'll copy it for number of copies is 1, click, and 3.5 inches, angle is 90 degree. Now let us remove the constraints. So I'll select all, then go to sketch, sketcher tools, delete all constraints, S. Now close and come out of the editing mode, and then you can rename this as window. So I'll name this as window 1, 2, 3 like that. So, and again you will have to hide the points. So there are points here, so you can just type 1 for the point size. Now you can move this, make multiple copies, move it, rotate it and place it as per your requirement. Now let us switch this back to the draft workbench. Next, let us duplicate this window. Click on this window and then click on edit, duplicate selection. Now you can click and select this sketch and then move it, and then you can rotate this. See, you should use the object snaps accordingly. So I'll use the snap ortho to get this imaginary line, and click a point here somewhere, and then again click here. So now I'm planning to place this window here. I can use the midpoint and place it here. So I'll just turn on the midpoint. Sometimes the object snaps can conflict, so I'll turn off the endpoint. This time I only need the midpoint, so I can also turn off this and this one as well. Only midpoint is enough. Now click and select the window and then use the move tool. You can also check mark the copy to create copies at this stage. So now I'll click this midpoint and click over here. In this way also you can create copies. Now again I'll click this window and take the move tool and make sure that the copy is checked, and use the midpoint, copy it here, and similarly again I'll select this one. See, I'm not going to copy this because it can create conflicts. I mean the conflicts with the snap points, so that's why I keep separate copies here and select them and make multiple copies out of it. So next again I'll select this, copy, and again select this. No, see, you could have also used the continue so to create multiple copies. So now I will copy this. So for we have created windows here. Now to place windows here on this wall, the here, so I think we need some reference lines. So to create the reference lines, now let us say I want a reference line from this line to this place at a distance of 4 feet or something, or 3 feet or 4 feet or something. So then you will have to copy this line. So that can be done by editing the wall sketch. So you can double click the wall sketch and then you can just copy this line. Number of copies is 1. Click, and then let us say 4 feet. Press enter. 0 degree. So here I've created a reference line. Similarly, I'll create a reference line here. I'll take the line tool, click here and click here, trim this line and then offset this line. Let me offset this for some 5 feet. 5 feet, enter, 180 degree. And now I want the same reference lines over here, so I will extend this. I'll extend this as well. So I'll trim this. Or you can delete it later, no problem. Now let us close this and come out of the editing mode. Now I will enable snap to intersection as well. So we will have snap to endpoint and snap to intersection enabled. So I'll select this, then move and select copy, and then you can take this point and then you have the intersection point over here. Now again you can take this and copy that here, and again one more, sorry, so I will have to use this endpoint. So now the windows are placed. I'll delete these two. So I will need to select this. See, to select both you can use edit box selection, drag a selection box and press the delete key. And now we can go back to the editing mode of the wall sketch, double click and delete the reference lines and close and come back. Now so far we have created the walls, created the doors and placed it, and also we created the windows and placed. So now the next step is to import the furniture symbols and other symbols and place them wherever necessary. Before that, I would suggest to move all these windows to a layer. So we will create another layer, utilities, layer, rename this layer as windows, and drag all the windows onto that layer. So you can manage the things easily with the layers. So now you can go to my website and download these symbols. These are ready symbols. I have provided the DXF file of these symbols. So once after you download, you can go to file and import, and click on open, and simply click on OK. So it will download on a new layer. Now I think I will need to select all the contents of this layer and move it here. So you can right click this layer and then select layer contents. Now let us uncheck this copy and move it. Now you can group these things as one component. I think it is all separate. As you can see, every item here is separate. So you will have to group each and every component, each and every things together and make it as one component. So to do that, you can go to edit, click on box selection. The keyboard shortcut is Shift+B. You can select all, and then you can convert this into a component. See, converting to component option is available in BIM workspace as well. So you can just switch to the BIM workspace, and then here you have the option make compound. So you can click on this. So now it behaves as one group. So now you can just select this and move and place wherever necessary. So you can select, go to edit, box selection, select, make compound, and then select, move it, and place it. See, you can enable the object snaps that you're doing. So I think this is enough. Snap near, so I'll use snap near. Now the keyboard shortcut is Shift+B, select, make compound, select. I think I'll have to rotate this. I also need the ortho mode. Now move this. Now Shift+B again. Make compound. Select and move it here. I think I'll have to rotate this. So now this time I'll use the endpoint. Now Shift plus B again. Make compound. Select. Move it. Shift plus B again. Make compound. So let us convert this into compounds first. Compound. Shift plus B. So I'll convert all of these into compounds. Now let us place this. I'll select this, move it, place it somewhere here, and this one I'll keep this here. Shift plus B again. When you are selecting multiple items, Shift plus B works better. Now I'll move it. I think I'll have to rotate this. And again I'll move this. I'll click this, move. Now let us move this here. I think I will need to create a slab for this. So I'll just double click and edit the wall sketch and offset this line for a distance of 2 feet. Angle is 180 degree. Now I'll come back. So I'll select this, move it. I think I'll have to extend the slab a little bit. Again, I can go to the wall editing mode, double click and move this a little bit. This time I don't want copies, so I'll simply click. I'll move this 5 inches, sorry 6 inches. Enter 180 degree. Okay, I think this will do. And let us come back. Again I'll have to adjust a little bit. Now I think I need some items over here. Let me copy this sofa here. Oh, sorry. I'll have to enable the copy. And I'll also copy this one. Here. Let me copy this sofa here. I'll rotate it. I'll uncheck the copy. So now the only thing left is dimensions and annotations. So let us proceed. Let us create a new layer for the dimensions, and let us also rename this layer as symbols. I think I'll have to move all this into the symbols layer. I'll select all of this and then I'll drag this to the symbols layer. So let us turn off the eye icon and check. Okay, that's the symbols, and this is the window, and this is the door, I think. Next, let us delete this stuff from here. I'll select all, delete, yes. Now the last thing that we are going to do is dimensioning and annotations. So before creating the dimensions, I recommend creating a layer. So go to see, you can also make a right click on this layer and click on add new layer, and rename this layer. Double click and make this as dimension, and you can set this as the default layer so that whatever new items you place will be automatically placed on this layer. So you can right click on this dimension layer and click on activate this layer. Now you can take the dimension tools here. For the horizontal dimensioning, you can take this, and you can use this option. Select edge and click on this edge and drag and click a little here. So initially you might not see the fonts and other stuff here. You will have to do some modifications here. So you can just click on the view, and you can change the text size, arrow size, etc. So let us change the arrow size first. Let me make this 5 inches and see. You'll have to do a little bit of trial and error. So I'll choose arrow, and then the extension line is the gap from the dimension line and the plan. So let me make this as 2, no, 5, 10, no, 20, I think 25 will do. Yes, 25. So we will have to remember this because later we can create a style and apply it. So I have given 25 for the extension lines. So let me make a note on this. I'll use the notepad. So what I gave for the arrow size, so I think I gave 5 inches for the arrow size, and for the extension line I gave 25, and now let us do some trial and error with the font, that is the text size. So font size, let me make it as 5 inches, no, 20, yes, 20 is visible. So I'll make a note here, text, I'm giving it in inches. 20. And you'll also have to specify the text spacing. Text spacing means so the gap between the text here, text and this line. So let me specify 2, no, 4, I think 4 will do. So 4 inches. So text spacing. So keeping these information, we can create a style so that every time we don't have to keep specifying these values. So what I'll do is I'll just click on this annotation styles, and then I'll just click on this drop down and click on add new, and I'll type a name for the style, let us say dimension 1, and click on OK. Now we'll just use these values. So now the font size is 20, so I'll type 20 here. So remember to type inches, this is very important. If you don't type this, the measurement can go wrong. So next, so whatever measurement you are using, that you have to type, so whether feet, inch, centimeter or whatever. And now the arrow type is arrow, and the arrow size is 5 inches. And I also want the color for the text. Let me select this color for the text and this color for the arrow, and the extension lines is 25 inches, and the text spacing is 4 inches. So let us click on the OK button. Now let us create a vertical dimension, then click on select edge, click on this line, move the mouse and click here. Now you can just scroll a little up and you can see this drop down. click that and select the dimension that we created earlier. Next, let us create the annotations. So click on the text and click a point somewhere here, and in this case the size of the parking is 15 feet by 15 feet. Let us type parking 15 feet by 15 feet and click on create text. So now you can select the same annotation style, the dimension style. I think it's a little big, so let us create another annotation style. So here I'll just click add new, and this I'll name it as annotation. So here we will need only the text size. So text size, let me type pin. I think this will be sufficient. And the color, I'll select this. OK. And OK. See, 15 inches. So now let me select that. I think this is perfect. And I think we'll also need to set the justification to center, and then move this and place it wherever necessary. And then you can copy this, make multiple copies of this. Select create copy. You can also use the continuous mode. And later you can edit this. Say for example I can select this, and then I can click on this data, and then here you can type directly, or you can click on these three dots and then you can change the text here. In this case it is bedroom, and the size is same, 15 feet by 15 feet. Click on OK. Now similarly you can change the text of all other things over here. Okay viewers, it's time to say goodbye. I hope that this tutorial is helpful. Please share this content with your friends. Like this video, and if you have not subscribed my channel yet, you can subscribe it. I'll see you all in my next video with another awesome content. Until then, it's bye from hbninfotech.com.